everyone who has joined us today. Her Grace Radhika Kripa Devi Dasi Mataji is the disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Swami Goswami Maharaj. She's the author of a book on Vaishnava teachings in Sikhism that has been translated into 5 languages, including Sindhi and Urdu. She also published a book of poems glorifying Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, and her spiritual master. Radhika Kripa Mataji was a fashion designer by profession and designed dresses for Iskcon deities. She's a motivational speaker and has traveled to Australia, Canada, Thailand, Japan, Pakistan, and the UK for giving talks on Krishna conscious philosophy. She also appeared on India's television for 4 months to speak on Bhagavad Gita. Radhika Kripa Mataji has many followers on Facebook and YouTube as she holds daily online sessions on Bhagavad Gita for everyone. Thank you, Mataji, for joining us. Very, very inspirational. And so today's topic is being a spiritual warrior. So over to you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishta Bhutle Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Vancha Kalpataru Bhaksha Kripa Sindhuva Evacha पतिता नाम पावने बेव वैष्णव बेव नमो नमः वैष्णव ठाकुर की जाय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय ओम ज्ञान तिमिरंधस्य ज्ञानंजन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवै नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मायं ददाति स्वं पदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपत्कमलं श्रीगुरान् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रतं सहगणरघुनाथवितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सरभूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सह गणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितवांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुतदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये Vancha kalpataruvaksha kripa sindhubhai evacha. So thank you for inviting me. I'm very blessed to be speaking among all of you. And I'm really grateful to Ramchandra Prabhu for inviting me. And today's topic is very, very interesting and very much for our spiritual growth. It's very much required for our spiritual growth. So a warrior is a person who fights adverse circumstances. When they come to our lives, we fight over, we become a warrior. So we are actually named warrior then. So warrior is not, he is just fighting over petty things. He's fighting over very important things of, we may say, a warrior on the war front when he goes to fight for his nation, that's nationalism. But one who fights for his own self, taking self-care, self-protection. So these are very important topics which we should be taking, part of. Like Prabhupada was a spiritual warrior. He was named many times the spiritual warrior. He was the Senapati. And he was the person who led this movement. It's a reformation movement, what he brought for us, Krishna consciousness. We would have been nowhere if he would not have been here. So he followed his spiritual master followed his spiritual master, his father, his spiritual master. And thus the parampara, the disciplic succession goes on. So we must carry that. What we have got is something very valuable. Only fortunate souls can get through that. They can only go through that, what we have received. It's something very, very valuable. And as you said, I have written 2 books now. There is the one is Vaishnava teachings in Sikhism, the other one is Vaishnavism and Sikhism, and the third one is the poetry, of course. So these 2 books, they contribute a lot to our faith. They contribute a lot to our commitment in spiritual life, how we can remain committed, how we can remain strong in our spiritual life. Because it's very difficult to be very strong in spiritual life. It's very easy to be very, among these social people, enjoy the life. Ignorance is bliss, as we say. And it says rightly in the Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning, this sukh, this happiness that is coming through the Satagun, Vishuddha Sattva also, the mode of goodness, which that happiness it brings, it's very difficult to obtain. It's very bitter in the beginning, but in later stages it becomes very sweet. But in mode of ignorance, if you are, so you will enjoy the life, you will take it as bliss. Or even the vices and all, they become very blissful for us. So because we are doing what our mind says, we are following our mind, and the mind is actually, it says it takes us to the downward, it never takes us upward. The mind, if let loose, if you leave it free, then it will actually become a disaster for us. But if you train your mind, if you put your mind in the service of the spiritual master and Krishna, then your mind is fully trained. Like you have, we have dogs at home, people have. So they train their dogs. If they want a pet dog, they give a training. You can't just keep a stray dog at home, and you will feel like you cannot enjoy the pet life of the pet dog like a stray dog. So pet dog, you train them. You go to trainers to train them. So that's how your mind is. It needs training. It's like it's like a dog. It barks all the time. It takes you away from the real happiness, real bliss. So we have to become a warrior. So spiritual warrior is the one who follows the spiritual path. That's it. Those who are following the spiritual path, they have to be warriors. You have to fight with your mind. You have to fight with illusion. You have to fight with Maya. Lots of things to fight. So there is, and it becomes easy. The trainer is your guru. The trainer is your mentor. If you are under the protection of your trainer, then you need not worry. He will train you in such a way that the Maya will not touch you. Because Krishna says that, Devi Heshi Man Maya Mamaya Duratya. He says, Devi Heshi Gun Maya. This Maya, this illusion, Maya is that takes us away from the Supreme Lord. That takes us away from the spiritual path. That is Maya. Maya doesn't mean that you have a lot of money, that's Maya. Maya does not mean that you have a big house, you are in Maya. Maya does not mean you have big cars, you are in Maya. You have a lot of money. You can be in Maya when you are a pauper even, when you are a poor person even. You can be in Maya. You can be a Maya if you are riding a bicycle also. You don't have any possessions in the world, you still can be in Maya. So Maya is actually that takes you away from Krishna. Maya is all that takes you away from Krishna, away from the Supreme Lord, away from the teachings of the Supreme Lord. That is Maya. So how you can actually be away from Maya? Maya, Krishna says she's mine. That is I who give Maya even. I give everything. I'm the cause of everything in this world. He says that. He's the cause of all the causes. So he is the cause of Maya also. So many people question, then why did he make Maya? If he wanted us to be away from Maya, why did he make Maya? Because we wanted to fall in Maya. That is why he sent us in Maya. Because we will never lose our independence. We will never lose that minute independence he has given us. He wants spontaneous love. He does not want forcefully to bring you to your knees. He wants the love that is very spontaneous. Like we love our families, we love our children, we love our near and dear ones. That is spontaneous love. Nobody tells you to love them. You simply, when you grow up, you start loving them. How the love shows, you start taking care of them. You want to be in their association. You don't want to leave them. You want to be with them always. That's your love. You will follow whatever they say. You will do whatever they ask from you. And yet, you will, if they are even not happy with you sometimes, but you will try to make them happy. You will try because you love them. So this is how love is. Love is when you show your care, when you show your attitude changes. You may go through any sort of distress, but you still love them. You will go out of the way to work for them. You will go out of the way to please them. But in the spiritual path, it becomes difficult to go out of the way. You really want a set pattern. If you are loving Krishna, you want everything should be well in your life. No pain should come, no distress should come. And even a small distress, small pain in your life, you feel, oh, that is not the right path. Let's go to some other path. This is not correct. What they are telling us, that's not correct. Because if Krishna is there, he should listen to me. He should give everything. If God is there, he should give everything what I'm asking for, I'm praying for. What he's there for. He's there for to supply everything to me. But then we forget, no, we have a big role to play in this. Our actions, they play a big role. So we actually are misguided by our own mind. It says, leave this, go somewhere else, try something else. So what happens is we fall into Maya. This is Maya. That it actually bewilders us. We don't go straight right in the right line. We do not think. If we are surrendered, we will take everything as it is. Whether it be happiness, whether it be the pain. Both things will take from Krishna as a mercy, as his mercy. Even the pain coming from him is the mercy. Because he is not actually giving the pain. Pain is coming from our own karmas. What we did, we are suffering now. So if you have thrown rocks at somebody, stones at somebody, of course, in this very birth, you will get back those stones, as the pain. But if you have showered flowers on somebody, you are going to get showered with flowers. You will get all the happiness from somebody. From those those whom you have given the flowers will be giving you the flowers this birth. And now also, when you will be giving flowers to them, the next birth, you will be getting the flowers. I don't mean the theoretically the flowers. I mean the good deeds you do to them. You actually be nice to them. You be good and you do the real welfare activity for them. You will be getting back that in your next births. So we are planning a future right now in the present. So in the present, one has to actually be committed. A warrior is who is committed, who is determined. That's why we chose the word warrior. Warrior means who is very much committed, who is very much determined, who is very much courageous. He is very courageous, and he or she is totally in for it. That is a warrior. Warrior is there, be it anything comes, he is there to fight. He is there to fight back. So we have to be like that in our spiritual life. We fail to do so because we have got so much bewilderment around us. We say this is tough life, being a warrior is a tough life. Being on the war front, it's a tough life. Every time you have to think of no. If your mind says go this way, don't go this, don't listen to the discourses. It's too much now. You can just listen once a week. Why do you want to listen every day? Why do you want to read every day? Why do you want to chant every day? You can do it once a week or once in a blue moon. Why you want to do it? At your age, people are enjoying. They're outside in the world. They're eating whatever they like. They are going out and enjoying the life. What are you doing? You're just sitting among the devotees, just chanting whole day, and then you're just listening to Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, listening to all these scriptures. Why do you want to do that? So our mind bewilders us. But if you're a warrior, true warrior, you will fight back. You will say, no, I want to do it. This is good for me. Because Krishna he's given answers to all the questions in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He says that if you want to see something, how you want that is best for you. So he says, above mind is your intelligence. Don't listen to your mind. Put some intelligence into it. Intelligence is higher than mind. But then he says, intelligence can also bewilder you sometimes. You have a lot of knowledge. You say, oh, I know this, I know that. And then you are bewildered again. That's Maya. Maya comes in a very subtle way. It comes like pride also is Maya. When you use your intelligence a lot, you say, oh, I know this, I know that, I'm super intelligent. Then you're in Maya again. Maya is such a subtle thing. It can take over you any moment. And then Krishna says, how will you know that you're not in Maya? Then he says, above intelligence is your soul. It's higher. The soul is the highest. So do what is the best for your soul. Then you're not in Maya. That's a true warrior who fights for his soul, who wants to save his soul, who wants to protect his soul. So we fall in Maya because we think we are body. We think we are this body. And then we think everything on the platform of the body. So one has to be very, very careful not thinking anything on the platform of body. Body will go through lots of changes. Krishna says that. From the childhood to the old age, you will go through lots of changes. But the soul remains the same. Soul has not changed. Maybe I'm now 60 years, but my soul has been there from the day one. When I was conceived by my mother, my soul was there. It came. And it's still the same. It hasn't changed. It is still the same. It's all young. It's all beautiful. It is all connected to the Supreme Lord. It's a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. It is the same. But then how? I'm bewildered by the body. The body has changed over. Body was young. It became old now. And then it will deteriorate. It has to deteriorate. It can be deteriorated earlier by a disease also. It's not only the old age will deteriorate it. A disease can deteriorate it. But then what will keep me going? My soul. My soul will not deteriorate. My soul will not go old. My soul will remain the same. And it remains the same birth after birth. So we have to be very careful in choosing the next birth. That is very important. A spiritual warrior is the one who chooses very carefully his next birth. What is going to be our next birth? We know the previous past lives have been the consequence. Today we are here because of our previous past lives. We had been in those lives and then we achieved, we did some good, and we are here and we received the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. We received the shelter of our spiritual master. We must have done something good. We must have done a little bit of bhakti. We must have done something. That is how we got them. Because once I asked my Guru Maharaj this question, when I joined Iskcon like 23 years back, 25 years back, I asked, after joining like 1 or 2 years later, I asked Guru Maharaj, I said, why I am here? I want to know the answer. Why all those who listen about it, they don't come here, but why I am here? I want to know that. Then he said, I said, because I came to ISKCON when I had lost my father and I was very attached to him. And then I really wanted to come out of that grief. I had lots of questions. I wanted answers to those questions. What happens to us? Why do we take birth? And why do we die? Where do we go after death? I want to know answers to all these questions. And that's why I was here. I said, why am I here? My rest of my sisters, my siblings, they all went through the same pain what I was going through. But why didn't they turn towards this path and they are okay with their life? Their life is continuing the same way it was earlier. They have accepted the fact that he's no more. And they accepted naturally. They say it's a very natural process and they have accepted. But why I am not able to accept it? I have seen many deaths like them. They have also seen the same. The family is the same. So they have also seen so many people going away in our family, but they are not affected that way that I am affected this time. So my Guru Maharaj said, it's your previous births, past karmas. They have brought you here. You must have done some bhakti, you must have done something nice, good deeds, that you could understand this. That is why you are here. That is the reason you came under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. That is why you can understand what Krishna is saying. That is your past karmas that have brought you here. So that's true. And then you are fortunate because otherwise there are two options. Whenever something happens, or good or bad, there are always two options. Something bad happens, either you turn towards spiritual life or either you become too materialistic. You will start going to pubs and clubs and you want to actually get over your grief. So you will go anywhere in this world to get relief. So you can be misguided also. You might turn up in a club, in a pub, drinking heavily, and you want to forget everything what is happening in this world, the pain of this world. So that's what I wanted to ask my Guru Maharaj. Why did not I turn that path and I turned this way? So he said, your pious karmas, they brought you here. When our pious karmas are much higher than the sins we have committed, we come towards this path. It's not easy for everybody. It's that because you have actually gained something. You have that on balancing the tarazu jisko bolte, we weight things over there and it has two bowls, like one is actually heavier, it goes down and the lighter one comes up. So it is when you have lots of pious deeds in your account, you turn towards the Supreme Lord. Krishna pulls you. Actually, we have taken one step and he pulls us. The one step was, I later read in the Bhagavad Gita, I read Bhagavad Gita first time in my life 25 years back, that it is, Krishna says, that if you actually turn towards me, it is, I'll pull you. And when you turn away from me, you want to be away from me, I'll push you. I'll push you away from me. And if you turn towards me, I'll pull you towards me. So push and pull, Krishna does that. Push, how he pushes you away. When you don't want to go to him, he pushes you away. When you are actually more involved in this material world, you want to enjoy that world more, then Krishna makes that world more attractive for you. But if you take one step towards him, he pulls you. He pulls you that the other world, the materialistic world it gives you the true, you see the true picture of that materialistic world. You see how the people are there. There are two plastic people, two materialistic, they are plastic people. They don't have the natural, because they are not natural. The world is full of hypocrites. Be it your relatives, be it your friends. If you have money, you have all the facilities in life, they will be very nice to you. The moment they think you are coming there to ask something from them, they are very miser. They will never give that. Be it their sympathy also. They will not give you so easily. True sympathy never comes from your relatives or friends. The only true sympathy comes is from the Supreme Lord and the Guru, because they are merciful, they are compassionate. That's the true sympathy they give you. They take you towards the right path, they guide you towards the right path. And with me, it was actually, I was reading the Granth Sahib earlier also, because born in a Sikh family, my mother, and she used to read every day at 3:30 in the morning. She used to be up and she used to be reading that. But being not in the path so much like this, I always used to ask her, why you get up so early? Why do you, there's no need for you to get up so early. You can get up so late also. Why do you do all this? But then she had not she said, oh, it's fine with me. I like doing this way. And I saw her doing it, but I was never inspired to do the same, because we don't have that reasoning power. We don't have a guru at that time. I did not have a guru at the time who would actually be merciful and let me know, yes, this is right for you. But I had the inclination towards that path. Whatever she told me to do, I used to do. Before going to school, she used to tell me, you should read Japji Sahib. I used to do that. Before going to bed, she used to say, you read this part. I used to do that. So I was doing all that all the time, what she was saying. But then I did not understand exactly. But when I met Guru Maharaj, when I was into Iskcon, I could understand. Everything was coming back to me, what my mother was doing. I said, yeah, that's what Guru Maharaj is saying. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. We have to be up at 4 o'clock. We have to be up for Mangalarti at 4:30. Then my Guru Maharaj said, there is no option for Mangalarti. He said, there is no option. If you say there are some choices, no choice. The only choice is Mangalarti. That is a must in your life. And I accepted what he said. And that is, I said, how Krishna pulls you. That he sends a master, a spiritual master, a mentor who pulls you. And then I read the stories of Prahlad and Dhruv, and how Prahlad was searching, and Dhruv was searching for Krishna, and upon the orders of his mother, that only Krishna can help him. That was the advice the mother gave. And he actually was searching for Krishna, and Krishna pulled him, because he pulled him through Narad Muni. He sent a guru, that's Narada. So that's how the life is. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita the same thing. I send a spiritual master to you. So, and that is how that happens in life. I could really feel that was happening in my life. That I just questioned Krishna, that why my father is gone, what happens to us after death, why do we take birth, why are we in this birth suffering? Because when we lose somebody, we cry, and we know the next turn is going to be ours. And then our children will be in the same boot where I am today. So they will be also going through the same, we call it hell, you know. When somebody leaves you, you're going through hell. That is the pain. You can't overcome that pain. You're so helpless at that time. That yet you want that person to be in your life back, but you cannot bring him back to your life. And you will never see him. The only thought of that scared me at that time, that I will never see my father again throughout my life. Never in this birth, after this birth also, I will never see him again. He's simply gone, he's vanished. So how can Krishna be so cruel, I was saying? How can God be so cruel that we love somebody and then we will not see him again throughout our lives and never in our life again? But then I realized that Krishna says, yes, this is what you have to overcome. This is the attachment you have to overcome in this life. I've given you this life, that it is only to serve me, serve Krishna. He says, this life I've given you not to serve your family. It's a duty you will be doing there, but you have to serve me. And then the Granth Sahib started getting clear. It was murkier. You know, the water, when it's filled with mud, it's murkier. You can't see clearly through the water. Only a crystal clear water is there, water body, then you can see through it. You can see the rocks and the stones beneath the water. You can see the aquatic life beneath the water. The water is crystal clear. And that's what the Guru does. When Guru comes to your life, he actually makes all that murkier water clearer. And when I met Guru Maharaj, it was like I could actually understand what I had read earlier. It was just a parrot reading, I usually say. It's just parrot reading what one does. But that also actually purifies. That purifies. That's why we say, Yen Kain Prakarin, you must chant. The chanting will do the process. But the chanting should be sincere, faster it will work. It's a medicine that works faster. You know, sometimes we take medicine we say antibiotics, they really work faster. So this is the super antibiotic. It actually kills all the antibiotics. They have, erythromycin. They all have sin at the back. In the letter, you always read sin, erythromycin, then amoxicillin. They're all sins. So our sins get eradicated when we take those antibiotics. So that is how the spiritual life is. We have committed so many sins in the past. That is why it becomes difficult to understand the Supreme Lord. So when with the Guru's help, we follow his instructions. We just don't say why, or it is always said, Krishna says, in a submissive way. He never said in a challenging mood. He said always in a submissive way. And if in a submissive way we accept what Guru and Krishna, Guru is saying, he's giving us the instructions, a bona fide spiritual master, of course. And if he's saying the same thing what the Gita is saying, if the path will become very clear, the murkier water will become crystal clear. And that's I could experience because the Bhagavad Gita I was reading now, Granth Sahib I had read, I was reading earlier, but I didn't understand a word. I was just reading. I was just like it's by heart, by rote, one word, one letter, one word you say, and the whole thing comes to you, and you just simply keep on speaking. That was by practice. But then when Guru Maharaj spoke the Gita, I could really relate to it. Oh, I've heard this. And I would quote something from the Granth Sahib also at the same time. And one or twice this thing happened when Guru Maharaj was very in the proximity that he could hear what I was speaking. I was like he's talking to somebody, and then I would just speak something about the Granth Sahib, the same quote, it would come to my mind and I would speak out. And he heard it once or twice. And then he said one day, I want you to write a book. I want you to pen down all these things. And I was very hesitant, very, very hesitant. I had never tried this thing in my life, in my school time or in my college life. I was a shy person. I never went on the stage. I never wrote anything. But then when he said that and he insisted on it, and then I had to write it. And then I wrote it, and just a week ago also he was telling me, I said, I'm working on another book. He said, I want you to focus on, he clearly said, he said, I want you to focus on Vaishnavism and Sikhism. I want you to write more books on it. I said, yes, Guru Maharaj, I will do that. So this is how the Guru actually empowers you. The spiritual warrior, if we want to be on the path of this spirituality, we have to be a warrior. We have to fight so many things again and again. But the faith and the commitment, the faith in the spiritual master, the faith in the parampara will make the things happen. But if we lose the faith, then nothing can happen. So first is have the faith. That's what Rupa Goswami clearly says, Ado Shraddha, Tado Sadhu Sang, Tada Bhajan Kriya. You had little bit of faith and you are in the where? Association of devotees. Ado Shraddha, Tado Sadhu Sang. If you had little bit of faith, you have come to the Sadhu Sangha. So this is Sadhu Sang which you get. This is an opportunity. The Zoom session, what Prabhu has, this Iskcon Bergen and all the centers in Iskcon, everywhere in the temples of Iskcon, you get Sadhu Sangha. So the Sadhu Sangha, like-minded people who are actually into the spiritual life, maybe whatever the reason they have come, they will purify. They will definitely purify. We have so many examples from the previous stories that have come up in Iskcon also. We know so many people. There was Prabhupada disciple who came to steal Prabhupada's Rolex watch. He saw Prabhupada's watch, the Rolex, and he wanted to steal it. And then he joins Iskcon and comes there and he is looking for a right moment to steal it. But then he started chanting, be the association of devotees, and he is purified. And he admits till death that yes, I came to steal the watch, but I became a devotee serving Prabhupada with his all commitment and determination, serving the spiritual master. So this is how life is. This is how the spiritual world is. You will be purified. Dhruv Maharaj wanted a bigger kingdom than his grandfather, than his father also, Raja Uttapad. He wanted a bigger kingdom. He wanted to teach a lesson to his stepmother, stepbrother, stepmother. But then what happened? Just by chanting, just by following his spiritual master, what the mantra his spiritual master gave, he was purified. Krishna gave him that, Krishna said, I'll give you everything what you wanted, for what you did the meditation for. I'll give you that. But I will take the asakti. I will take your attachment to that. That's what he does with his devotees. Devotees will get everything. It doesn't mean that they'll become very poor or pauper, as people scare that if you will do Krishna Bhakti, you will become very, poor. Everything will take away. Like Sudama, he lost everything. But then Sudama got everything also. But then if we are actually into Krishna Bhakti, Krishna gives us as everything, but he takes the attachment. He will take away our attachment to those things, those material things. We will have everything, every comfort in this world we will have, but he will take the attachment. Very interesting fact is that I have not spoken of it many times. As a kid, I loved to travel. I always used to love to travel the world. Before my marriage, even like in 1985 when I got married, I was just 21 at that time. But I'd seen half the world at that time. My father would send me wherever I wanted to go with my college, with my friends, or he would take me. And he had taken me to Europe, to eastern side, everywhere. Like I had seen more than half the world because I loved to travel, and he would take me. But then when I got married, my husband also, he also actually is very supporting. So he was very supporting, and till date he's very supporting. He also took me around the world. And when my father left his body, and then I met Guru Maharaj. So there was so much I could identify with Guru Maharaj, what the qualities my father had. Like I used to tell Guru Maharaj, I told him, I said, I speak to you the way I used to talk to my father. And when I was talking to my Guru Maharaj like that, so many of his disciples were so scared even to go near him or talk to him like that. But I never felt that way. I just could walk and talk to Guru Maharaj, and I told him, like, you are just like my father to me. I speak the way to you that I used to talk to my father. And I don't know how, like in 2000, I've got a mail also. Then in 2005 or 6, when I told him, he used to tell me I have to preach, preach. And then I started giving discourses from 2003 itself, or 2002 also. I was not initiated at that time also. Then also he said, there was a small center in Punjab at that time. And he said, I want you to speak there. And I agreed to that, and I actually admitted whatever he said. I want to. That was a religion for me, and I did that. And then he must be seeing all these things. And then he told me one fine day when I was giving a discourse somewhere near Delhi, in a place 100 kilometers away from Delhi. I had just given a discourse there, and I was coming back home, and I got a call from Guru Maharaj. And I told him, like an enthusiastic child, reporting to her father, that I gave a discourse to more than 100 people there in that city. And he said, I want you to become an international preacher. You will one day, you have to travel the world and preach. He told that to me. And that thought became a religion for me. I kept on meditating on that how I can fulfill that. Because I'm not going to ask for anybody to pay for my fares and all that. Then I spoke to my husband, and he said, sure, you should go, you should travel. And then in 2007, I told Guru Maharaj, I'll be going. I actually, with my god sister, I planned it. She lived in Australia. I said, if I can come over and preach there, will you help me? She said, yeah, of course. And that was my maiden trip. And after that, when that trip was organized, I went to seek blessings from Guru Maharaj. And when I was taking blessings from him, there were devotees from Pakistan. They were on a call with Guru Maharaj, and they were inviting him to come over for deity installation. And he saw me entering the room, and he said, I'll send Radhika Kripa. And I looked at him. I was right there. I was leaving for Australia, Sydney. I was going from there to the Sydney airport. And then Guru Maharaj said, ask my husband, do you mind if I send her to Pakistan for preaching? My husband said, no, of course not. I don't. You can send her anywhere in this world. And then Guru Maharaj said, she will come. And I did not. I took it as a joke, I went to Sydney. I went to Melbourne and Sydney for 1 month. I came back in the end of May. And when I came back, my husband said, the devotees from Quetta, they are again and again asking for you to come. And they've sent all the invitations, everything. But it's not easy to get a visa for Pakistan. It's not a tourist visa you can get. And for the relatives also, if you have, it's very tough. But then somehow with Krishna's mercy and Guru Maharaj's blessings, I got a visa within a day, and I was off to Quetta for preaching. And that's how actually the blessings come. So I've seen the empowerment by the Guru, everything he empowers. So the parampara empowers you. So Guru Maharaj always actually encourages to read Prabhupada Lilamrit, to get the knowledge from the Prabhupada Lilamrit. He always encourages us. So for my morning sessions, I make it a point to read Prabhupada Lilamrit with all the people, those who are watching, and we do read Prabhupada Lilamrit, and actually that gives a lot of energy. Like, how could Prabhupada do it? That was not the time when it was there, emails were there, the technology was not, WhatsApp was not there, and but he was racing against time at his age. How could he travel so much? How could he write so much? How could he answer so many devotees? Dozens of letters every day he was dictating and he was signing them. And अगर आपको this time also somebody tells you आपको कि एक 12 मेल रोज लिख दिया करो, we say, oh my god, who has got the time to write 12 emails every day? But he was doing, and along with that he was actually translating the scriptures, leaving these scriptures for us to get the knowledge from. And then he was traveling the world. He was making so many disciples. And he was making Iskcon everywhere, establishing Iskcon, buying the land, making temples, planning all this, planning guest houses. So much of work he was doing. He was racing against time. So that's what Prabhupada was. He was a true sense warrior. And we can be small soldiers in his, and in his army. We are just small time soldiers, but at least we need the commitment, we need the determination, and that comes from the sadhu sangha. So that is ado shraddha tado sadhu sang tada bhajan kriya. So one has to perform the bhajan kriya. Unless you perform bhajan kriya, unless you chant yourself, unless you read yourself, unless you follow the instructions of the spiritual master, how will this bhajan kriya will happen? This is the bhajan kriya. And when the bhajan kriya begins, what does it bring? Anartha nivriti. Ado shraddha tado sadhu sang tada bhajan kriya tata anartha nivriti. So then the anarthas go away. That is the time when all the vices will start leaving us. Our pride, our false ego, our krodh, anger, our lust, that will leave us. So that is our attachment. Krishna is taking away the attachment to all the lusty desires. He's taking the attachment, our attachment to this world. So that's how Krishna pulls towards himself. He takes away the attachment. So how? It's very simple. Prabhupada said, higher taste comes, the lower taste goes away. Simple living, high thinking. High thinking is there, the life becomes simple. So simple life is a must for everybody. Simple life does not mean you're sleeping on the floor. Simple life doesn't mean that you're wearing rags, you're wearing unironed clothes. That also, imagine my Guru Maharaj, he told me, he actually made me practice all that. I took to simple cotton saris, and then one fine day there was a show of Hema Malini. She was performing a dance show in Delhi, where Guru Maharaj was also. She's very much actually devoted to Guru Maharaj. She does come to see him. She's very much like following some of the rules, and she comes for his Vyas Puja also sometimes to wish him. And there was a show of hers it was 2004, and we were not going for the show. My husband said, I'm not interested in watching a dance show. But then anyway, we were there, and then Guru Maharaj suddenly gave us some task. He said, Radhika Kripa, I want you to be behind the stage receiving Hema Malini and other chief guests. And there were a lot of other chief guests were supposed to come. And he said, there were many, everything was organized, everything had been done earlier. But that was the last moment, like just 1 hour before the show, he's telling me. And because, I don't know, he had this, actually, he's the spiritual master. He understands Krishna speaks through, actually, the spiritual master. Radharani speaks, he's the Guru Tattva. So he just said that I want you to be there behind the stage, receiving Hema Malini and other chief guests. And come dressed up nicely, in a nice sari with a nice tilak. And I wore one of the finest saris and with nice jewelry and nice tilak. And he told my daughter also to bring her. She was a teenager at that time. And he said she should also dress up in a sari and come with you with a nice tilak. And we dressed up, both of us, and we were behind the stage receiving Hema Malini, talking to her, receiving other guests. And that's how he trained me. I learned it from that day, that I have to be nicely dressed up when I'm among the crowd, who would take it as a preaching moment. So they will take me as in, if I go in a simple sari, they will refrain from joining the movement themselves. If I dress up nicely, being a fashion designer, he knew that. So if I dress up nicely and go among them, they will be attracted and they will see. And like this is the reason that so many people joined with me during the lockdown, and they could feel that I'm not different to them, I'm like them only, I'm from there, I'm a grasta, I'm so from a family background like them, and yet I am a devotee. So that became easier for me to bring people to Krishna consciousness. That's the way of preaching. So I was reading this actually in a, there was Prabhupada disciple called Dayanand Das. He was preaching in Iran, and when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan and he was about to leave the body, just few days before that, Dayanand Das came from Iran to see him. And when he came, he was wearing a pant and shirt and a coat, like he was wearing a suit. And he was rushing to the Prabhupada quarters. And when he was rushing, some of the devotees, they said, oh, it's better you change your clothes first. Wear a dhoti kurta to see Prabhupada. And then Jayadvaita Maharaj said, no, these are his preaching clothes. Let him go and see Prabhupada like that only. And Prabhupada was not worried what he was wearing. When he entered, Prabhupada was so happy with his seva, with his service. Prabhupada, he went down, Prabhupada put his hand on his head, and he says, Dayananda says, and my hair would have been so impure. I was coming from such far off, like coming in a flight and all that. They must be very impure. But yet Prabhupada put his hand on my head and in my hair, and he blessed me and he asked me, how is it going on? What are you? And then he reported everything, and Prabhupada was so happy. That's what he says, that he says that Prabhupada is a warrior. So it is, I have that quote with me here. He says, Dayanand Das to the end, Prabhupada was a warrior. Dayanand Das says, I was in Iran during Prabhupada's disappearance Leela, and one by one we all went to visit Prabhupada. When I got to Vrindavan, I immediately went to his room. I had a suit on, and some devotee said, go get changed. But Jayadvaita said, no, those are his preaching clothes. Let him come in. I went in. Prabhupada was lying on his bed, and when I went next to him, he asked me what I was doing. And I'm still in Iran, he said. And what are you doing with your money? And he says, I was actually giving 50% of what I was earning for preaching. And Prabhupada wanted to continue. And Prabhupada, he says here, yet he put his hand on my head. I felt that my hair was impure, yet Prabhupada touched it. So this is what Prabhupada is. He writes, he was such a fighter, such a warrior, and he was so determined to accomplish his spiritual goals. So Prabhupada was a warrior, and he was there to fulfill all his goals. So that's what he taught all of his disciples, and that's what the disciples have transferred into their disciples. So Prabhupada's grand disciples and great-grand disciples are also getting the mercy. So we all have to be spiritual warriors. If you really want to be successful in spiritual life, go back to Godhead. Today we were actually in our morning sessions, we read the quote of Srila Prabhupada every day. So today's quote was very nice, where Prabhupada says, this material world, this material body is a cage. Why you want to, like the birds when they are trained, they are actually get used to staying in a cage. When you leave them free also, they come back and go into the cage by themselves. You must have seen those who actually train the pigeons and the parrots. When they leave them also, they fly in the sky, they come back and go enter the cage back. So they think the cage to be their home, permanent home. They don't know how to be liberated. So that's why Prabhupada writes, he says in Calcutta in 1972, maybe that morning quote we read, he says that we have become like that. With birth after birth, we actually come back and take this body, material body again and again, thinking this to be the ultimate. But we have to be free. We have to liberate ourselves. So we have to, not to take this cage, we have to follow the instructions of the Guru and Krishna so that we can be free, we can be emancipated, we can be free. Freedom has to come. So this is spiritual warrior, actually following a spiritual warrior, being in the forefront with Srila Prabhupada as our leader, as our commander-in-chief. If we are there with him, it's sure shot that we will go back to Godhead. But if we leave him and we get away from this warrior front, away from this war front, then we will be lost in this material world. So it's better to be in the army rather than being on our own. So just we should join the army of Srila Prabhupada and be with him to become a true spiritual warrior. So that is how we will get liberated. And I can go on and on, but I would like to take question answers. So let's have some question answers. Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Haribo, Haribo. Mataji, you can go on and on. It was such a pleasure listening you. So much time has passed, maybe 40 minutes, but I didn't feel like, I just felt like you should keep going with the stories that you were telling, the time that you have spent with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And so I just wanted to say that such a beautiful line with which you opened up this talk. You said that spiritual warrior does not fight over petty things.
Yes.
He's fighting for something really big. So we are fighting against two very important ends. One is mind, another is Maya.
Yes.
And we are trying to fight against mind and Maya to save our spiritual soul.
That's
So
right.
that was so beautiful. And how soul is eternal and it's transmigrating from one body to another. And you were talking about good fortune that we have come to Krishna consciousness. I would like to say that it's our good fortune that we got to hear you today. And, we all are here and listening to Krishna Katha together. Thank you very much. And especially very touched with the story that you shared, that how you came into Krishna consciousness, how your father's passing away led you to question that why am I here, and
That's right.
what is the purpose of life, and how since you had this desire to know the answer to these questions, Krishna reciprocated to your desire by bringing you to Krishna Balarama temple in Vrindavan.
Yes.
That is
Thank you.
so nice, Mataji. And very nicely you shared that how we have to first dress and then address, how we have to dress as per the time, place, and circumstance. Even though we are trying to be less material in our lives, but when we talk to other people who are around us,
Yes.
we have to present ourselves in a very confident and a very presentable manner. Thank you. And so now I would like just 30 seconds, Mataji, I would like to take, just want to make a few announcements, and I can
Please.
open the floor for questions. So thank you, everyone. Just wanted to make a few announcements. So this Sunday, we will be having Deenabandhu Prabhu from Bhakti Center speaking at Iskcon of Bergen County on Sunday in Sunday program. And also, we have multiple Bhakti Vriksha programs going on every Friday, one in Parsippany and multiple in Bergen area. So if any one of you is not yet connected to a Bhakti Vriksha program, please reach out to Ramchandra Prabhu. Please do let us know, get connected. Friday Bhakti Vriksha programs are more for closer one-on-one kind of gathering association. Thank you, everyone. And now if anyone has any questions, either raise your hand or please type it in the chat. All right. Okay, Mataji, so I do see a question in the chat. So the question is, can you share some stories from the Sikh history on a warrior and connect it to Casey?
Haribol. Yes, there are many stories. Sikhs are the Kshatriyas, so the Kshatriya blood runs, Then last time also I told about my Pago, the story about her, that how she was a disciple of the 10th Guru, the 10th Sikh Guru. And she was actually a warrior, and she used to fight the battles dressed as a man, and dressed as in the attire of a man. And she would be there, and she was actually one of the the close circle of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. When he used to go to fight, she was one of the inner circle. She was the secretary, or fighting like the guarding her Guru. And she is the one who brought, there were 40 Sikhs at that time, whom Guru Gobind Singh Ji in a war, in a war that was one of the last battles, he had ordered 40 Sikhs to fight. At least they say tens and thousands of Mughals. They say it's like 1 lakh Mughals were coming, and 40 Sikhs were told to fight them. And these 40, they knew they would die. If they will fight, of course, though if they are fighting with hundreds and thousands of Mughals, these 40 will have no place. They will, of course, they will die. It was for sure, shot, they will be dead. So what they become deserters. They left the army and ran away. But when they reached home, nobody accepted them. Their parents also, their wives even, they did not accept them. They said, you are deserters. You left because for a Kshatriya there is, even Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, one should not leave the war front. If you die in the war, at least you will get the heaven. But you should not leave the war and run away. And the war is of religion, actually dharma, faith. It's not religion, it's actually the dharma. So they were fighting for dharma. And when they ran away, they left the army and they ran away. They did not follow their guru's instructions. They got scared. They were frightened and they ran away and nobody accepted them at home. And now these 40 of them, they were together, sticking together. They were in an ashram. They were sitting there at a dharamshala. And there she reaches out. They are thinking what to do now. They want to go back now because nobody is accepting them. And they want to go now. But then when they want to go back, who will take them? How will they go and face the Guru again? Because the leader among them had written a letter to the Guru saying that we are leaving you. You are not in your minds. You have told us to fight so many Mughals. We will die. So we are leaving you. You're not our Guru from today onwards. We have left you. So they have written in the letter and given it to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Now when they want to go back, how will they go back? So my Pago comes there. She comes there and she tells them, I will take you back. You come with me, we will fight together and we will do it. And they all go back to the war and they fight. And when they fight, the Mughals run away. The Mughals all leave the battle and they run away. But all the 40 die. And she is there. So when all the 40 die, the head, the leader is about to leave the body and Guru Gobind Singh Ji appears there because he's the Guru. He appears there. He takes his head in his lap. Who had written the letter, that person's head he keeps in his lap and he says, you have anything to say before you leave the body? He says, yes, please tear off that letter what I wrote to you. I wrote what nonsense it was I wrote to you. You are my spiritual master for life after life. And then Guru Gobind Singh Ji tells him, you wrote that you're not my disciple anymore. I never said that I'm not your Guru. I'm still your Guru. I will remain that forever. You are my responsibility. You will be the 40 of you will be the liberated souls. Till eternity you will be remembered. Until today when we are in the Gurudwara, we do the ardas, the prayer. Everybody speaks about that 40, that they are the most liberated people in this planet. So this is how my Pago, she protected them. She became the one who took the Guru's message and actually brought freedom to them, brought liberation to them. So this is this story I never forget. And there was another story I remember. And then I actually, this is what the Guru is actually, he liberates you. The Guru is, Prabhupada said, I take your responsibility. If you chant 16 rounds a day and follow the 4 regulative principles, I'll take you back. You are my responsibility. And somebody questioned, then he said, I've got the backdoor key to Krishna's home. I'll take you back. It's my promise. So the faith in Guru's word actually it pleases Krishna. When we have the faith and we follow it sincerely, Krishna is very pleased. So there was another one incident is that in the one story that comes in the Granth for the Sakis in the Granth, that talks about the beautiful story of Pai Kanhaiya Lal Ji. That's Pai Kanhaiya Lal. What he used to do is when because they are Mughals and the Sikhs, they were fighting. So when the war used to end up in the evening, Pai Kanhaiya used to go in the scene of the scenario where the war took place. And there were people around there, the soldiers of both the Mughals and the Sikhs, both were in pain. Some of them were just leaving body and were begging for water. So Pai Kanhaiya used to carry they call it a mashak, a big leather bag filled with water. And he would give water to all those who were dying, And may they be Sikhs, may they be Mughals. He never discriminated. Oh, this is he's the enemy and he's from my side, he's from the other camp. No. He gave water to all of them without any discrimination. Though the Sikhs in the morning were killing the Mughals, they were the reason to kill them. And now he was actually quenching their thirst before they leave the body. He was giving water to them. And then now all the Sikh soldiers, they reported to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. They went to him and they reported. They said, what is this going on? We try so hard to kill them, and he goes and gives water to them. Why is he doing so? And then Guru Gobind Singh Ji knew what is happening. He said, okay, you send him to me, I will chastise him. So by Kanhaiya Lal, he went to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Ji tells him, and he tells him, is it true that you are doing all this? You are giving water to the enemy also when they are leaving their bodies? So he said, yes, what can I do? Actually, when I go to the, that scene where they are dying, for me, I see my Guru in every soul, every person I see my Guru. I see your face among them, so how I cannot give water to them? Then Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave him a tight embrace, hugged him, and he said, yes, you are the only one who has understood me. You are the right person. You should not only give water, take the medications also and treat them also. You should give the relief to their wounds also. You should give them the medicine even. On their wound, you should apply the medicines also. So this is how he taught. And once I was in Govardhan, I was listening to Prabhupada's Leelas, the pastimes of Prabhupada by Prabhupada disciples. So one of Prabhupada's disciples, he gave a very nice story. I'm talking about, I listened to him like maybe 18 years back. And then he was telling everybody, he said he was serving in Paris. He was serving Prabhupada in Paris. He was there, Prabhupada was there, he was in the Paris temple. And once, it was a small temple and they did not have a proper devotee kitchen also there. So devotees' food was coming from outside, from the some Grasta's house, like that they had arranged. Because very few devotees were there, like 2-3 devotees only staying in the temple at that time. So it was very difficult for them. So suddenly there was a guest. Prabhupada announced there is a guest coming. And he gave this person, this devotee, a seva. He said, you have to cook for him all these things. And now he was in a dilemma how to cook them. Because there was only one kitchen, that was the deity kitchen. And in the deity kitchen, the pujari would kill him if he would enter and cook because cooking, Prabhupada had made a rule. No cooking except other than only for the deities in the deity kitchen, not for the devotees. And now he kept on meditating on how to do it. So what he did, when that guest was supposed to come in the evening, so when the pujari in the morning after the deities he put to Shayan, when he left, he put to the deities in the afternoon for rest. The pujari, he left the temple. He left to take rest. Now what this devotee did, he sneaked into the deity kitchen through the window and he cooked everything and he transferred in the nice thalis and brought it out and served Prabhupada's Prabhupada's guest. And now the report came over that Pujari, he told Prabhupada that what he had done. He broke the rule and he entered the deity kitchen to cook for that guest. Prabhupada said, oh, really, he did that? I'm going to chastise him. Send him to me. And what did Prabhupada did? Prabhupada invited him and tell rest of the people to leave. And he shut the door. And he tells this disciple of his that I'll chastise you in a loud voice and I'll thump my stick also on the floor. But you have done an excellent job. You have done the right thing. This is how our guests should be honored. When we invite somebody, you have done the right thing. But I will chastise you in a loud voice so that they all are standing outside to hear that am I not chastising you or am I being nice to you? So they all want to know that. So Prabhupada is told clearly, Prabhupada was chastising me and at the same time going to the door and listening outside, putting his ear to the door to hear out what others are outside actually murmuring and speaking. And others were feeling so happy, oh, Prabhupada is really scolding him, Prabhupada is doing this to him. And in the sense, Prabhupada was actually embracing him and telling him you did the right thing. So this is how it made me feel, yes, this is what a guru is. That's what Prabhupada was, and that's what I read in the Granth Sahib, the Sakis from the Sikh historians. So this is actually so similar. The gurus actually, when they are the purified souls are actually the same. On the level of purification, when they come, they are all same. They have no difference. So this is what the purification is. That it's not you are a guru in a Sikh tradition or you're a guru in a Hindu tradition. No. Because there is no Sikh and Hindu. That is all same it is. When you're purified, you're on the same platform. You all are same and your actually relationship to God is the same. That's how these things have really affected me. These things, these stories, small, there are plenty of stories. I've got many, many. But as time actually is very limited, we are time barred. So I hope everybody is content with these two at least. Haribol.
Haribol. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, do you have a few more minutes or?
Yeah, I can spare a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? Please raise your hand. All right. While I get questions in the chat, Mataji, I did have a question myself.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, you mentioned that how when you were questioning that why this happened to your father and you had these very deep questions about the purpose of our life and why do we die and what happens to us after death. And you said that your siblings were not questioning this, right? So was it only you who came into Krishna consciousness at that time? And did you ever try to get your siblings or your family into Krishna consciousness?
Yeah, all are influenced, but they at that moment it was very tough for them to understand what was going on with me, and I was very much actually absorbed in myself at that time. I did not care because, as rightly Guru Maharaj even told me, my husband. The best part was my husband. Both of us changed at the same time. Many people ask us who was the first one who came, and for us it's not the first one. Both of us together. It was not anyone first. It was both of us together. Throughout the journey, it's been together. Till date, we have the same feelings for Guru Maharaj, both of us. We never contradicted on anything. No contradictions on taking up that Prabhupada is pure or Guru Maharaj is in that what platform. We both we share the same opinions, same everything. That is the best part, other than talking about any other, but my husband and I. And of course, children were very young. My daughter was like 12 and daughter was 11 or 12 and the son was 7. For them, their tiny brains, it was very difficult to understand what was happening. They had seen the different life and immediately just within 6 months, the life changes for them. Their mother is a different person for them. Their father is a different person. And Guru Maharaj even told us, people in your family would say that you've gone mad, that you both have gone mad, something is wrong with you. And that was happening. They could not take it like what is happening with us. But we could understand that we were on the right track. But then I did not care much for what others are saying. That is first thing. A spiritual warrior is because people will say that you've gone mad. The first thing they will say is you've gone mad. Something is wrong with you. You're not normal, because they think you're not normal. For them, the normal life means that you are totally into the material world and you are racing, you are in the rat race. And I was running a business at that time, and I was in the rat race, of course. For my business, I was the model for my own business, and everybody wanted to be like me at that time. But then I was quitting everything and I wanted to quit it over. I did not want to, I did not carry it on. I just left it. In 99, I finished with off my business. So my husband had his business with his father. He told his father that he did not want to do the business anymore. Then he wanted to serve the temple. He wanted to serve Guru Maharaj. He wanted to put all his energy into serving him. And then they all thought that, but they did not have. We were so much into it that it did not bother us. Never bothered us because both of us were together. Had it been one person, it would have been difficult. But both of us being together, we did not have to seek permission from anybody. Both of us were actually going ahead. And then children at that time, if they didn't understand, but they were there with us. At home, they had to follow everything what we were doing. And today, I'm grateful that yes, and they had the association of Guru Maharaj. They have the same respect for Guru Maharaj. They have the same inclination that side. They are vegetarians. They are pure vegetarians. They actually, they have now understood, like my son has just moved to Vancouver. So he's at the temple. I don't have to tell him, but Saturday, Sundays, one day he plans to be there. He serves there. Guru Maharaj is so happy that he goes there. He serves. Earlier he was in Australia for studying. And when he came back from Australia, he had a big tattoo of Jain Nursing Dev on his chest. People usually get the tattoos of different things. He got a Jain Nursing Dev, and I was happy about it. So you see, Krishna does, when we parents, as parents, we are following Krishna consciousness, the seed is there that goes into the people around us. that seed enters there. And my children also got that seed, and of course they will nurture it. They will have that journey. It was very interesting. My son was telling me other day, he got a job in a store, in a furniture store. He's an interior designer here also. He had a furniture business. So he just moved there, and his wife is doing MBA there, and their daughter is in school there. So they just wanted to have that life of post corona. So they went there. So he was telling me in a store other day, he said, he sent me a clip, He said, just listen to the music that is going in my store the whole day. I said, really? And when I heard it, I said, really? It's this going on? He said, yeah, and they don't know it. And it was George Harrison's song, My Sweet Lord. And he said, Spotify, they have a playlist in the Spotify. This song comes up again and again. And I told them, he said, I told my colleagues there, I said, do you know what song? And the song is this. They said, Hallelujah. And I said, yeah, that's the same. But just hear the words after that. And he said, look, I said, Krishna is there, no? He's with you. He says, you are there. You may not fall in Maya. He's there protecting you, giving you this, listening. You should listen to this song more and more. That's what he's giving you there. So you see, we just have to give a seed, and rest Krishna takes care. That's the faith. And Krishna does take care. Guru and Krishna does take care. So this happens. My daughter, I'm doing these days a course on Bhagavatam with 100 people. My daughter, she said, I want to enroll. Others, when I used to tell them, they used to say, we don't want to listen to all this. We know it. We go with you. We have heard it. I said, okay. And now she said she wanted to do the course. I said, fine, you do it. And she joined the course. And yesterday when I met her, she carried a first canto of Bhagavatam with her. And I said, why? Why are you carrying this? She said, you are doing this, I'm doing this course with you, and you have told us to read the canto every day, 1 hour at least. I've brought it, I've got some queries I want to ask you. I said, wow, nice way to celebrate Holi. You have brought the first canto and you want to discuss that with me. So what else we can ask Krishna for, These are the best things we want, that at least our children, they go into Krishna consciousness. And the best part happened was, Prabhupada says and Krishna says, Yat Yat Achruti Shrestha. So in our family, the most pious and the old person was my uncle. I've written an article about it, and it came into the Back to Godhead from America. It printed there. It got printed there. It's there. You can all, we can share the link with you all. It's on the most fortunate soul, my uncle. I wrote that article. And he was like 85 when he met Guru Maharaj. And a pious Sikh, a proper turban Sikh, staying in near Amritsar, going to the Golden Temple in Taran every day in the morning at 3:30. And he was totally a proper Sikh. And throughout my life, I used to think that he's very fanatic. But then when I became a devotee, one day he says, I want to seek blessings from your Guru Maharaj. I want to meet him. And he met him. And then the rest is story, that how at the time of when he left this body, he had Hare Krishna Mahamantra written on a piece of paper just before on the fireplace ledge. He had a fireplace, old Haveli he lived in, and there was a fireplace in that, and on that ledge he had that Mahamantra before his eyes. And yes, that happened. And when such a pious and then such an aged person in your family changes into this, then what to say of the youngsters coming in they cannot say a word. When he accepted it, what else anybody can say? So this is my life has been. I've been blessed by that. Haribol. So yes, and I hear that there is a center, Prabhupada's, there's a center coming up there in Bergen, I believe, and really people should join in, because it's a golden chance for everybody to join in. And it's a chance, actually golden opportunity by Srila Prabhupada he has given for the souls that are actually bewildered in this world. So this is Prabhupada's mission. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. We just actually celebrated Gaur Purnima. So that's a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission to distribute Harinam. So please join in and take this opportunity, bring your family and friends, because those who preach to others, those who take it and give it to others, they are the most blessed souls in this world. Krishna says, I love them the most. So please go ahead and ask your family and friends to be a part of this movement, bring them to Krishna consciousness, bring them to this center so that they may also become spiritual warriors and become the actually the benefiters, the gainers. Haribol. Yes. Yes. Any other question, or we may end? What do you say?
Yes, Mataji, just one last question. Before that, there's a comment from Vijay Prabhu. He's saying, thank you, Mataji, for such an inspiring lecture.
Thank you.
And then there is this one other question. Why many Sikhs are non-vegetarians? I have also seen the same in Buddhist too.
You see, when the religion is not propagated in the right way, the faith actually dwindles. And that's not only for the Sikhs are non-vegetarians, the Hindus, they're also non-vegetarians. It's not a question of Hindu or Sikh, it's a question of your faith. The uncle I'm talking about, I just said, a pious soul, he was a pure vegetarian throughout his life. He never touched alcohol. So that's why he could understand who my spiritual master is, what this parampara is. He could understand it at such an advanced stage, at the age of 85, 86. How could he understand this? Usually people, it's very difficult to change a person at this advanced stage. They have their own notions, everything is fixed in them. But then the purity is the force. That is the right. We have learned so many things in Iskcon that Prabhupada says purity is the force. Unless you are pure, you won't understand. And the Granth Sahib totally condemns non-veg eating and alcohol. It's written there. I gave it the quote in my book also. Jo maas machli ka isura piye, so rasa tal jaye. That's it. So it's not a question of Hindu or Sikh, it's a question of your purity. So one has to purify by chanting. That's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji said. That one has to chant. That's Mudpaliti kapade de sabun laiye to bhariye mat papa ke sang ho pe name ke rang. So the Naam, the holy name only can purify us. And that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpanam Marjanam Bhamadavagni Nirvapanam. Both the quotes mean the same. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to Jagannath Puri and he had darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These have been actually identified by the Sikh historians as well and by Satya Raja Das, Stephen Rosen from our Iskcon itself, Prabhupada disciple. He did the research. And this is the fact that both of them met. And there is the fact also that Guru Nanak Dev Ji sang an Aarti in Jagannath Puri. There are many, many incidents in Jagannath Puri. Many miracles happened. Many things happened when Guru Nanak Dev Ji was there. So actually we don't go for miracles, but we go for the purity and the sincerity of the devotees. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he's put, yes. Yes. The meaning of Vaheguru again, it's the Vishnu, Hare, Govind, Ram, Charo Akhar Ikkar Ik Jap Mantra Banaya Vaheguru. So, and who is Vaheguru? It's written in the Granth Sahib clearly. Kamalanayana Madhurvayana Kota Sangha Sainisho Ma Yeshod jise कहते हैं देहीं बात खाई जियो आद सत्य श्री निवास आदि पुरुष सदा तू ही Vaheguru 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 जियो. You are the Vaheguru. So who is the Mother Yashoda is running after her with Dahi Bhat, and he is the Param Satya, he is the Adi Purush. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. We always say he is the Adi Purush. The Granth Sahib says he is the Adi Purush. Shri Nivas, Shri is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is at his lotus feet. Lakshmi is there, residing there with him. Shri Nivas Adi Purukh Sada Tu hi Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Jiyo. And you are Vaheguru. So there is there is nothing of like no doubt. All the doubts are cleared, but only purified souls can understand. Those who are not purified, they will never understand. So that is the irony. Haribol. So yes, so we should end the session now. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Haribol. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining us. I hope we can join us for many more such sessions in upcoming future. And if you anytime visit US, please do visit us in New Jersey.
Sure,
and please do visit us our center as well. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna everybody. Vancha kalpataru bhaksha kripa sindhu bhaicha patita naam bhavne bhyo Vaishnavyo namah. Vaishnav Thakur ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Namacharya Das Thakur ki jai, Shad Goswami Vrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.